Tug Morkel here again, reading from Tug's Trek, my memoir of moral injury. Continue with Chapter 8, the time Rhodesian SAS as I saw it with my own eyes. The sequence of events of what followed unnerved me beyond anything I had ever experienced. Our cover was behind the embankment to the side of the bridge, and the crashing sound of ongoing gunfire all around us was deafening. My nerves were jangling, with fear rising like a tide within me as we kept our heads down trying to make our wounded comrade comfortable. We had radioed for a casevac to uplift the wounded man, and a Bell helicopter piloted by Flight Lieutenant Dick Paxson swooped in to take him to safety using the cover of our embankment to land. The craft hovered for a moment and then rose a few meters as the pilot maneuvered his craft slightly forward. Suddenly there was a crashing explosion above the head of the chopper tech, who was leaning out watching the tail rotor clearance. The enemy had fired an RPG-7 rocket as the chopper rose above the cover, supporting the railroad, scoring a direct hit to the main rotor housing. Crippled by the blast, the craft plummeted to earth, hitting the ground sideways less than 30 meters from where we were preparing to load our casevac on board. Sadly, technician Alex Wesson had been killed instantly by the explosion, and the smouldering bell with flailing, twisted rotor blades came to a rest uncomfortably close to our position. The pilot was trapped behind the controls of his mangled machine and was frantically trying to free himself, his facial expression one of sheer terror. With little regard for his own safety, Sergeant Flash Smith dashed from cover across the open ground and pulled the stricken pilot from the wreckage. Securing him in a fireman's lift, he ran with him back to the relative safety of our position. The fact that he had not been taken down with intense exchange of fire was nothing short of a miracle. While the embankment provided us with protection from sniper fire and rocket launches, I feared the enemy might advance and lob grenades over the rampart. They knew exactly where we were. They knew we had casualties, and with the bell smouldering so close to us, with the ever-present possibility of it exploding, I imagined them taking advantage of our distractions. Thank God they chose not to. Paxton had the obvious signs of a fractured arm and was made comfortable with a makeshift sling to support it. He still had the use of a sidearm to defend himself while we turned to maintain our resistance against a determined and aggressive enemy. The pressure was relentless, and for me, the continual fire was an incessant source of rising horror. When would it end? This was my first real firefight against a determined enemy who stood their ground. My resolve was crumbling, and I was fearful, and I lacked the psychological strength to withstand the ongoing din of gunfire and imminent danger of dying there. Some of the hardened, older soldiers appeared relaxed and in complete control of their wits. I was not. I was a terrified 19-year-old boy soldier with a persistent metallic taste of adrenaline in my mouth and thumping heart in my chest. The demolition team to the north of us continued to lay charges under the span of the D.R.E.A.M.S bridge. Sergeant Botsick successfully used a double-barreled 23mm heavy machine gun on the enemy trying to defend their bridge. His group had overrun their position and captured the weapon and very quickly brought it to bear against them. Bastian Bill from our group radioed across to the sergeant and took instruction on how to use another one of the guns he had captured. Once Bastian Bill swung around through 180 degrees and got his weapon firing, the Freds, that's the Frelimo, and Gooks never knew what hit them, and all went quiet for a while. It gave us a breather needed for a smoke break. Rick and I lit up and gratefully drew the calming effect of nicotine deep into our lungs. Just when I thought the danger had passed and there would be a time to restore my rapidly disappearing sanity, I was called by Flash. Tug, I want you to come with me to check out those trenches. We cannot bring any more choppers into this venue before we've cleared them. Bring that RPD and let's go take a look. So just to sum up there, the corporal's been shot in the leg. He rolled down the embankment right in front of me. We attended to him with drips. Rick, 3 Sausagen, rendered him pretty much immovable. So we call in the bell, the Huey. Paxton comes in with Wesson. They send a rocket. I just remember this flash above Wesson's head, and the chopper went down. And now we've got a real problem. Anyway, a friend of mine recently phoned me about 6 months ago and said he had just visited that actual place, and that rotor tail still exists in the place where it was shot down. I'm going to ask him to send me some pictures. Anyway, stay tuned. Tug Morkel here. Website tugmorkel.com. Where are we going with this? It's all about dealing with the therapy of trauma, because this stuff that afternoon, I don't know how many times I have dreamt it over in my mind at night. It's not a happy dream; it's a flipping nightmare. That fear. Anyway, the next video will be about clearing the trenches with Flash Smith. Stay tuned.